Hi, everybody. I'm Bruce. Welcome to another episode of the Zap Show. So we're looking at episode 6, and to my right, I have the founder of ZapERP, the founder of ZapSeller, the founder of ZapApps, Mr. Nikhil Jathar. How are you doing today?
So far, so good.
Excellent. On that note, let's go ahead and do our intro, and we'll jump in and get started.
Absolutely. Okay, so as always,
There you go. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
okay. So as always, I always screw up with the intro video. Now I think I should do something about it. Anyway, so yeah, so let's get started. I think today we have few updates with the ZapERP, a lot of bug fixes, and obviously end of month announcement, because we did plan few new features for end of month release, and we're gonna do them. We're gonna release them. And obviously there is one more feature which sort of got requested recently by a lot of people, and I'm going to mention that in one of the slide. But yes, that is one of the update. Then obviously we will talk a little bit about ZapSeller. We will also talk about some other apps that we have, and we will talk about our partner app. So we have a lot to talk about. Yeah.
Cool. Let's go ahead and start sharing the screen with everybody.
Sure.
There you go.
Okay. So if you go to the next slide.
Sure.
Okay. So, in fact, there was a customer who actually messaged us about the barcode, and we were working on it. We had some challenges. We fixed it. We pushed it last week. But again, there were some issues, because the problem with the barcode is there are around 150 different types. Okay. So when we design for one barcode, it is quite possible that for some other barcode, it may cause an issue. So we had to go a lot of revisions and fix a lot of back and forth stuff. So we figured out the main issue, and we are still working on some formatting issues. But so some updates are already released for a barcode, and some updates should be released in next day or two. But trust me, whenever you tell us something like, okay, certain things are not working, we are always on it. So we make sure that we get it fixed. And similarly, same for the QuickBooks. So the QuickBooks, the version 1 has been released. Version 2 of the Zero is released. So Zero is much stable than QuickBooks. QuickBooks is still in its early phase, but Zero is much stable. So any invoices that gets created in ZapERP automatically push to this accounting system. And that was the whole goal, right? But we just don't stop there. We also post your payments, we post your taxes, we post your refunds, returns. So, and this is all customizable. So the idea is whether it's a QuickBooks US, QuickBooks UK, or QuickBooks Australia, we have got you covered. Expect more updates around QuickBooks this week as we stabilize the connection. But yes, the first version has been released. Item merge improvement, I think this was released last week, but we have been constantly improving it. This week, what we have actually sort of like a merge that item merge improvement with another update that we are sort of got prioritized is actually multiple Shopify stores. So if you remember, last week we discussed the whole idea of ZapERP is keeping sync, right? Sync, like everything has to be in sync. And that was our focus, to stabilize the sync process. And as a part of that, item merge improvements has some subtask. One of the subtasks is allowing people to have multiple stores of the same channels. So you not only going to have one Shopify and one WooCommerce, but you're going to have 2 WooCommerce, 3 WooCommerce, 4 WooCommerce, or 2 Shopify store, 4 Shopify store. So now, so that is something that we also prioritize with item merge, because we realize, okay, if we are doing item merge and we have already done it, why not just push this update too, which will allow our users to connect those multiple Shopify stores that they were asking for.
Right.
So yeah, that feature should become available sometime this week. Right now it will be only allowed for Shopify stores, but like every week we will be releasing for channel. Like next week we will hope to release for WooCommerce. After that for Amazon. After that for others.
Perfect.
Right.
All right.
And then it's a small improvement called as a returns tab on SO view screen. So now when you view the sales order, you also gonna see the returns tab. So it's just basically an additional enhancement. And then custom field improvement. So this is something, it's very unique to ZapERP. Not a lot of software has this. In ZapERP, you can add custom fields. So when you add custom fields, you can actually, it gives you a freedom to do whatever you want. So imagine you are into grocery business, or versus you are into medicine business, or you are in some other business, right? You're gonna always need those custom fields to store the custom values. So
Exactly.
ZapERP allows you to add those custom fields, and it's an old feature, it's not new. But what we have done now, we have made that feature available for a purchase order, for a bills, for a receivables. So when you send a purchase order to your vendor, you can put values of those custom fields and let vendor know that, okay, these are the things that I also need.
Totally makes sense. Someone was asking, what's the limit? Are you referring to how many items that can be merged? Or are you talking about what's the limit of custom fields? Could you please elaborate that, whoever said that? I would give you a shout out, but you haven't given StreamYard permission to highlight your name and your photo. So please also don't forget to StreamYard.com/Facebook. That way we can go ahead and give you a shout out there.
Makes sense. Yeah, that question needs some more description. Okay, so then the next one is actually I just added a comment regarding ideas.zaperp.com, because I think initially this subdomain used to be called as a roadmap.zaperp.com, but now it is ideas.zaperp.com. So we just changed the subdomain. I hope I'm not lagging.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I think it's my camera.
Okay, because you are stuck. Okay, cool. So awesome. So then, last week, or in fact this week also, what we have done, we have went through all the comments from our old roadmap, or ideas.zaperp.com, and we sort of reviewed them. We asked questions regarding some of the comments or some of the integrations that sort of we were not sure of. We also moved some of the comments in planned stages. So if you have received an email from us asking for more details, just feel free to reply to that email, or just put a reply on the ideas.zaperp.com. That way we will have more information and we can work in a better manner.
Perfect. Ready for the next slide?
Sure.
All right, here he comes.
Okay. So this is something that we have been talking about from a long time, but the good news is we have actually started some of them testing in our sandbox. So that's the progress. So that means we have already started testing for the batch support. As we discussed, the batch support is going to allow you to use the same item with a different expiry date or a different kind of a batches, right? Then auto select nearest warehouse. So this is something, again, we are live testing, should become available early next week or end of this week. Then webhook support, it's available partially, should become available for everyone. User permission fix should become available for everyone early next week. Control inventory item per channel is already available. So you can already control what item that you want to push to specific channel and what item you don't want to push to specific channel. The only thing that we want our customers to do is, if you have questions, just chat with us, because some of these features can be a bit complicated. So for example, you have connected WooCommerce and Shopify, and you don't want to sync your WooCommerce item to Shopify and vice versa. Just talk with us, and we can help you to get those setups done in a right way.
Perfect. So let's focus on the last one regarding Shopify multiple stores that have been recently prioritized, because that question that we just had a few minutes ago, referring to the limits, they were talking to what are the Shopify store limits.
Okay, that's a good question. Right now, the Shopify store limit is going to be 3. That is due to Shopify's own API limits. They don't want to just keep pinging their APIs. And if this changes in the future, we will definitely add more limits.
Perfect. There you go.
Okay, so we definitely have improved UI plan. In fact, we had some screen design, like some mock-up screens. I will share something next week so that people will get a look at it. I wouldn't call it as they look great and beautiful, because they are practical. They are not. It's not about having a beautiful screen, but it's about having a practical screen where people understand things easily. So they are very practical. They are very useful. They make use of existing elements. Then its integration. I know people ask about it. We're gonna improve it. We're gonna stabilize it next month. Flipkart update will be resumed. Integration with ZapSeller will become available, and we are continuously fixing a lot of bugs too.
Good question that came up. How about system resilience and support during COVID?
Okay, that's a great question. So what we have been doing is, so this is actually interesting, and I don't know, somehow I missed this part. I should have put that in update. From last few days, we are working on a scalable ZapApps solution. What does that gonna do is, first of all, it's gonna give us that. Now, I'm not sure how do I use those technical terms, but in AWS, you have the load balancing feature, right? Whenever the load is increased, automatically additional servers are assigned, and those servers allows you to serve more customers. So this is something that the challenge that we faced during November 2, during Black Friday sale, because that time we had few customers who were registering around 10,000 orders in a day. That is huge. I mean, one customer registering 10,000 orders, that makes around 50,000 API calls to various vendors. So we had a lot of slow system issues during Black Friday last year. But then we started working on it. We figured out, okay, what was the cause? What was the issue? What is that we needed to fix in the system? And we actually not only fixed our backend system, but we also improved our server infrastructure. So now these load balancing system, it's not yet live, but it should be live sometime in May, will allow us to serve those extra bandwidth, those sudden pick, whether it's a Black Friday, whether it's a Labor Day, or any day that sort of suddenly gives those upticks, not only for us, but even for our sellers, because sometime a seller who is selling on his own store can get those sudden upticks, and then he's going to hit our servers. So this scalable system is going to allow us to scale it to the any of these needs.
Got it. All right, let's bring it back. So, SyncSpider, how are we coming along?
SyncSpider is actually going pretty well. Our initial analysis is done. Initial analysis done for Zapier also. We have already started working on some of the basic structure that is needed for SyncSpider as well as Zapier. So far so good with both of them. Product suggestion, price comparison. Here we are facing a bit of an issue because the price APIs that we were planning to use has some sort of a limits, but hopefully that should be resolved. First version release of Lazada Asian marketplace support, that is also going pretty well. Sales prediction AI, purchase prediction AI should be good, because the data models that we have been working on are they are working as expected. So we should have both those features available sometime in July.
Alrighty. What are we about? Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the last one, two-way sync, WooCommerce, Amazon, eBay, Etsy. I think that was added as a question, but that's definitely not a June-July update. That's like more of an iterative update that is going to happen next week, a week after that, and continuously. So WooCommerce to, sure, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, because Facebook brings up a good, interesting question. Like, because we also have the Facebook marketplaces. Is that
Mhm.
something that's going to be considered as part of the, let's say, a two-way sync between, let's say, Amazon, WooCommerce and a Facebook Marketplace? Is that something that might happen down the line where both marketplaces will have real-time sync of products?
Yes, absolutely. And if I go back to my if I go back to the previous slide where I mentioned about the item merge, so that is what the purpose of the item merge is. You are selling on Facebook, you are selling on WooCommerce or some other channel. You want to sync those data, and sometimes you don't want to sync the data, right? So
Right.
system is allowing you to do that because of that update. The item merge improvement exactly allows people to do that, and that is why I mentioned the WooCommerce two-way sync is already live. But the others like Amazon or Etsy, those gonna get released every other week. They're not gonna be released in July, but they're gonna release. Some of them will be released. Let's say, for example, Etsy will be released in month of May.
Mhm.
eBay sometime in month of May. eBay stability, actually stabilized version of eBay, because first version of eBay is already live. Amazon sometime May, and sometime like some updates in June. So these are the channels that going to get updated constantly.
Perfect. All right. And long term, so something that's going to happen in the next quarter, I see that print on demand and shopping feeds for Google Shopper.
Yes. So yes, and we will definitely try to move this in our priority list bit like more into July or August timeline. But right now, these are planned for September or October. Shopping feeds for Google, Facebook, Pinterest from WooCommerce, as well as print on demand integration, which is actually requested by a lot of users in our previous webinar too. So
Yep, saw
definitely
that.
both of those are planned.
And moving on to the next one, ZapSeller. So this moves on right into our next question. And yes, that was one of the first and primary questions that we were asked last week about ZapSeller. Can ZapSeller have custom domains? Nick, I'll let you take that away because that's part of this slide.
Yes, ZapSeller is gonna allow you to have custom domain. By default, we will give you a subdomain like xyz.zapseller.com, and then you can use our panel to create CNAME records that you can put in your DNS and map your custom domain to our website.
There you go. All right, what other design and SEO benefits and options are going to come with it?
Sure. So do you want me to share the screen, or we don't have sufficient time for that right now?
Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
Okay, let me see if I can get something up and running. Hopefully
Sure.
my bandwidth allows to do that. But meanwhile, I'll just go ahead and keep on explaining. So design wise, as I mentioned last week, we are allowing people to choose from multiple themes. By default, out of box, next month, we will be giving 3 themes. And hopefully in the future, we will keep on adding more and more themes. And as we discussed last week, we're going to have app ecosystem or app marketplace that will allow you to build your own themes as well as purchase themes from other users or other sellers. But that is more of a long-term goal. Right now, in the short term, you can use the themes that we have already developed.
Perfect.
Now, yeah, in terms of SEO, we have made sure to consider all the meta tag requirements, all the keywords requirement, whether it's a product wise, whether it's a page wise, so that you can just put the information in and let Google index your pages, index your product, and let you come in the search records. Yeah.
Just to give you guys a little bit of background context, so Nick was talking to me about some of the things he's thinking of doing with SEO and the ZapSeller pages. So it was kind of interesting to hear his thought process about what he's thinking of introducing and doing. So you guys will not be disappointed on the SEO meta tags, regarding the indexing, regarding your ZapSeller site. Anyways, just thought I would mention that, put that in there.
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
And
so Babe, go ahead.
no, sorry, you wanted to chime in?
I was just going to jump onto the next slide because I know a bunch of people had bought ZapERP and they want to know, all right, great, how do I get access, or how much access of ZapSeller am I going to get access to? So let me go ahead and
Right.
show that. jump
Sure.
right in. There we go. So if you
Okay.
picked up ZapERP before, this is going to give you a perfect breakdown of how how much access of ZapSeller you're going to get access to, what tier, how many sub accounts, et cetera, et cetera. Nick, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. And regarding this, last week actually someone asked, what about ZapERP unlimited deal customer? So the unlimited deal customer is going to get too high growth. So they are similar to Martech Enterprise, which is too high growth. So it's the same thing.
Got it. So we have some questions coming up on ZapSeller. This is the perfect time, so let's bring it up. Okay, you said you'd be able to connect third-party store to yours. Does a third-party store have to be a ZapSeller or any other account as well as Shopify?
I am not exactly aware of like the background of this question. Maybe he would like to know what happens if I'm selling on Shopify, and can I transfer that data from Shopify to ZapSeller? Is that the question is?
We'll let you go ahead and get a second to clarify when we move on down to Ben. Ben, thank you very much for showing up and for giving StreamYard permission so we can give you a shout out. Howdy. So any screenshot of the ZapSeller backend?
I will share some screenshot on our ZapERP group in like next hour or so.
Got it. Sometimes, Ben, you know that there's a little bit of a connection issue if we try to have Nick do a screen share. So we're just trying to lower the possible glitches that we may have during the live stream. Yes, that's exactly what that question was pertaining to, about hooking up another third-party store to ZapSeller.
Okay, got it. So at the moment, there is no plan for third-party stores to allow to connect directly to ZapSeller. I think we believe that is what ZapERP does. ZapERP inventory management allows you to connect your multiple stores, multiple channels. So whatever stores you have, you should be connecting them to ZapERP, and then ZapERP connects to ZapSeller. Again, ZapERP is going to be your sync software. We don't want ZapSeller to do that.
Got it. Ben with another good one. Are ZapSeller shops hosted by you?
Yes, they will be hosted by us.
Got it. Can user management of BigCommerce and Flipkart be prioritized? Oh, right. Can user management, BigCommerce, and Flipkart be prioritized? So that's 3 different prioritizations.
Right, absolutely. So, so in my second slide, I did talk about user management or a user permission issue. And that is something that we are trying to push end of this week or early next week. So that is definitely already prioritized. In case of Flipkart, unfortunately, Flipkart is completely shut down. They are not allowing any of the developer to work with them at the moment. And I think they are shut down till 15th of May. So as soon as they are open again, we will work with them. We will get it prioritized. We have in our list, but we're just waiting for them to open those system again, allowing us to connect, allowing us to test and get it ready. Now, BigCommerce, that's a good question. I think I missed BigCommerce as a part of a May update. So I'll get my slide updated, but BigCommerce is also scheduled for a May.
Perfect. And the last one we have is, how are people going to be able to claim some of their codes?
Okay, so that is something Bruce was actually asking me from like last 10 days, if I'm not wrong, right?
Gently.
Yes. So we are making one link available to you guys where all you need to do is put your existing ZapERP codes, and that will automatically enable the package for ZapSeller. So that's it. You don't need to purchase anything new. All you have to do is use those same codes. As long as they are not refunded, not canceled, they will just work and activate your ZapSeller plan.
Excellent. What is the goal of ZapSeller? Are you planning to compete with Shopify? If that's yes, what makes you different compared to Shopify?
That's a great question. Because at the end of the day, do we want to compete with Shopify? I will tell the short answer, no. We don't want to compete with Shopify. What we really want to do is give an user one more option which is much more friendly to them. So allowing them to sell offline, online, not putting those restriction of percentages where we are charging some percentage based on sale, and all those Shopify restriction, like you can't sell with the certain product, you can't sell in certain regions, and all those things. So we want to give more freedom to users. We want user to choose their own option in terms of a selling offline versus online by giving them POS out of box. We are also giving PWA out of box, so you don't need to develop a separate Shopify app for it, or sorry, separate mobile app for it. So all those things are not there in Shopify. But having said that, we don't want to compete with them at all. They are in a different segment, you can say. We want to be in a different segment. We want to be in more of a helping small and medium scale businesses when they want to convert from offline to online, when they want to sell not only offline but as well as online.
Totally makes sense. Totally makes
Right.
sense.
Right. I mean,
All right.
just to add into that, one of the feature we have in our POS that allows you to work without internet. That is, I mean, Shopify POS, I don't think it has that. So just a mention. And obviously, I mean, there is going to be 10 different things that I can go through, but that is just one of the feature.
That's really helpful, especially if like people go out to the desert and then they don't have any type of internet connection at all, but they still need to be able to manage their inventory. Having an app where it's like, even though it's offline and you could still manage and do your sales, or like you're out in the mountains. I mean, that's a perfect use case scenario when there's no internet connection at all and you could still process sales. Or a big one is events. Let's say if you're doing live events and they're in a desolate area. I know a lot of times that you have like in the United States, we have like Burning Man, we have Coachella, and then the internet goes down. Oh my God, that's just a nightmare.
Yep.
All right, question, and this is a good one from Ben. What about drop shipping features? Can we use ZapSeller as I use Shopify?
Out of box, we are provide integration with AliExpress. We are planning for eBay integration too. Right now, it is not live, and it may take some time to get it live. But yes, these are the two drop shipping features that are planned, where all you have to do is go to AliExpress, select the products that you want to sell. Those products will be automatically pulled in ZapSeller, and you can sell them on ZapSeller.
Perfect. All right, on that note, let's go ahead and move right into the next segment, and we'll get our partner involved from last week that we introduced you to. And so on that note, let's go ahead and bring in OmniKick. OmniKick. Engage, convert, and grow more customers. There you go. Hey there,
guys.
Mohajipan. Fill us in. Give us some of the updates of what's going on this week.
Yeah, first of all, how is everyone doing?
Safe. Trying to be 6 feet. 6 feet.
Yeah, things are getting actually worse here, so I don't know. That's not.
Sorry to hear that. We'll pray for you guys.
Yeah. So the update so far, like the things that we went through last week, the features that we mentioned. So we the promotions of last week, and so what we are planning right now, like after we are done with the email builder, we would actually try to build a code, a JavaScript code, so that like any other platform except for Shopify can go ahead and install in their store, and ZapSeller would also be able to put it in. So ZapSeller users will be able to use OmniKick with that code.
Great.
Nice.
I know we had some people that were asking questions last week about can they purchase more than one license if they wanted to have more than 25,000 subscribers. Is that going to be possible?
Mm-hmm. Right. So what we are actually put in basically is that, like, for the lifetime offer of $97, people are actually getting 25,000 subscribers. but there's some of the people like their stores has more than 25,000 subscribers. So what they're doing, what they can do is that they can multiply their licenses or multiply the lifetime accounts and add 25,000 on top of it. So for example, it's $97 for 25,000, and you multiply 97 by 2 and you get 50,000, and so on and so on, depending on what the customer requires. So we would actually put in the drop down selection on the sign up page, where people would be able to select what kind of subscribers limit they want to go for, and they can just go ahead and buy that immediately.
All right, excellent. By any chance, you wouldn't happen to have anything ready? So we've had people ask us over the past week if they can get an example of the UI or a back-end walkthrough. Is that possible at all?
Yeah, I can go ahead and give you a short brief. That's not an issue. All
Yeah.
right, so let me go ahead and share my screen with you.
Appreciate that. Absolutely.
Okay, can you guys see me?
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the screen right now. There we go.
Okay, all right. So as you know, this is what you will go in once you log into OmniKick. You would see this is your home page, right? So I've been doing some testings over here. So we put some. So yeah, one good news, we actually put the import list option. It's already in. So anyone who has subscribers in other platforms, they can go ahead and convert them or download them into a CSV file, and they can just upload the file and put their subscribers in OmniKick. So for example, let's say you have subscribers in Aweber and you want to import those subscribers into OmniKick. All you have to do is export a CSV file, and we would just upload them over here.
List importing.
Yes, so they can go ahead and import their subscriber list and put it into OmniKick, so that they have the same, so that they don't have to start from scratch again, because they worked hard to actually get their user
That just
base.
makes sense. It would be a pain. It would be a pain in the neck if they had to do everything from scratch when they have a perfectly big list that they want to just go ahead and just pull over.
Right, exactly. So that's why they can put in the subscribers in, and so this is what you would get, like the number of subscribers that you put in, you'd get the total number, the email subscribers, if you put them on email. If you have push, then you put them on push subscribers. So let's go, let me give you a brief overview of broadcast. So what a broadcast is basically is that you would be able to send out, like I'm actually testing one right now, and there are some drafts and so on. So what you can actually do is that you can send out one particular email to a category of your subscribers. For example, this one says 461 subscribers, but I don't want to send broadcast to all of them, right? So what I do basically is that I go ahead and send to some of my users. So there are many ways that you can go ahead and do that. Let's select new broadcast, right? So let's put it in a name, test, let's create it. Right, so over here you would select the recipients that you would go ahead and send. You can select by custom fields, custom category, and you go ahead and put in the name of the list that you put in. Or you can go ahead and choose specific emails, and I have my email over here, so let me put my one in. So once we click save, the list will actually generate. Okay, so as you can see with that email address, this one list comes up. And so once you have to first select the list category or the recipient category that you want, then you have to click on save so that the list comes up. Once the list is already up, then you can go to the content. You select your channel. So you want to send a push, you want to send an email, it's up to you. So let's start with email. Okay, so this is your email editor that you would see. This is the subject line that you put in, the email content. Right. Okay. So the email content that you put in, you can go ahead and add your links. You can personalize your emails. For example, let's say I write hi and then I write the email body, right? And so on and so on. So what I can do after hi, I can go ahead and personalize, putting in the input codes like first name, last name, their time zone, their email address, their consent, and created ad. So if I select first name, if I insert it, you see it says hi first name. It says hi first name. So if I have 10 subscribers, so let's say the subscribers' names are Ben, Mark, Alex, John, and so on and so on. What they can do what when we send the broadcast, it will say hi Ben when it's sent to Ben. It will say hi John when it's sent to John, and so on and so on. So that is the personalization. If you want to put their email addresses, their time zone, you can go ahead and select one of those, and you can put it over here to personalize your email. And then, so everyone is following me so far, because I'm actually sharing this screen from the same laptop, so I cannot see what's going on the live.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We're getting some questions that are coming in as soon as you're done.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I also have a few questions. So whenever you're
Let
done,
me finish
we'll go
up the
through.
broadcast section, and then we can go into questions for it.
Sure.
Okay, great. So, so it's basically you just write your content over here and your signatures and everything, and you just click save. It's saved. You go to settings. So this is the place where you would go ahead and send. Over here, you would put your postal address, the name that it wants to show. So you can edit over here if you want to. Let's say ZapSeller wants to set it. So you write ZapSeller, whichever email you want to show from. So this does not has to be the registered email. So you can write any email that you want over here that the customer will see or can reply back when they see the email from you.
Totally.
Over here, right? Yes.
Totally makes sense.
Okay. All right. Great. So, and also this is a mandatory thing. That's the worldwide. It's a CAN spam act. So you have to keep your email that you're sending from the unsubscribed list and the postal address. So this you have to do it. So once we go ahead and so you can choose your is it a transactional or relational thing or a commercial. So basically for any business purpose or any marketing purpose or any kind of selling or software, whatever you're doing, it's basically commercial. Relational is for totally personal thing, or if it's a direct transaction thing, then you can select transactional as well. Now we go ahead and let's say we go ahead and want to send this message. So the broadcast, you can send it right now. If I click on send, it will go ahead and send me the broadcast. I can go ahead and select at a specific time. So I can select at what time or what date. I will just click schedule and it will send automatically. Even when I'm not around, let's say I'm selecting the next date. So let's say May 1st, I select May 1st, same time. And if I click on schedule, what will happen is that you can select a time zone as well. So subscribers, local time zone. This is what you can do. So whatever time zone they're in, so if I send at 11:53 p.m., it will show up at their inbox at 11:53 p.m. their time, not mine.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so if I at the GMT, this is my time. So whenever I send it, this will follow my time. So it's 11:55 here right now. So if I mention 11:53, so basically after a few days, at this exact time, they would go ahead and send the broadcast. So the good thing about this is that you can plan your emails and you can go ahead and schedule them. Like you click on schedule broadcast, and what happens is that even when you are not around, this email has already been sent to the email server, and the server will basically send it at that specific time. So your job over here is done. So you don't have to worry about going to that time, so that you can go ahead and send your email. Maybe it was an update email that you would send after 2 days. You can go ahead and schedule it before 2 days, and you can be that called tension free about it and relax. So you have already done your job 2 days before that. All right, so that would actually come up to broadcast. So if I go to broadcast, let's say I have sent one. So this is what it will show. Let's say that's my audience size. So 164 people that was in the list, how many have delivered, how many actually have opened. So if I send push, it will also show a push percentage. So if it's 22.22%, if half of them is pushed, then it will show 11.11 for push and 11.11 for emails. This is the click rate. So if you have a link on the email, the person that clicks, how many percentage have clicks, this is the click rate. So unsubscribes, there are 0 unsubscribes. So every people that has viewed or clicked, none of them has unsubscribed. So this is what you will see on the overview of the stats. All right, so we can come up to section. Okay. All right, so yeah, it's up to you, Bruce. You can bring up one by one the questions. I can go ahead and answer them.
Yep, let's jump right in. Okay, so the first one is very general and obviously a good icebreaker for the community. Who's your competition and what is the main goal of OmniKick?
Well, we actually have a lot of competition in the market, but let's say if we want to name a few of them, it's Drip. Uh, then you have Active Campaign, you have Klaviyo, you have GetResponse. So there are a lot of these giants who have actually started long back before we actually started developing our software. But the good thing about with our software compared to their, the thing is that each of these softwares actually targets or specifies one specific feature that they elaborate and customize. What we have is we have multiple multiple features that you get in one system. For example, if I talk about Drip, right? So the Drip has email marketing and the pop-ins and opt-ins and everything, but they don't have push notifications.
Right.
When you go to push notifications and when you want to get push notifications and the email marketing together, then the pricing goes up really high. You can search online. Don't take my word for it. There is Google. Use it. It's free, and you can actually learn that how much it costs to actually get those two services, just those two services together in one platform. What is your goal for this app? Well, the goal is basically to create an app for the entire e-commerce industry, so that it's very, we actually try to make the app as simplified as possible. So compared to our setup, or compared to the what would say, compared to what the system that we show and compared to the system of Drip, you would see there it's a lot of complications are there. So our one is very easy. You go step 1, it shows the next step right at the below, and you go to step 2 and step 3 and so on and so on. So, and then you go, if you go to Drip, then they have so many features compiled into one category. You have to actually learn a lot to understand how to use that software. So our goal is basically to create a simplified omni-channel marketing software for the entire e-commerce industry.
Totally makes sense. I mean, I like the fact that when we started talking, you cover multiple channels, which is almost, well, it is the exact same thought process that the Zap family had with their ecosystem, that they would have multi-channel management for inventory. With the introduction of ZapSeller, you would have stores that can integrate with inventory or product from multiple different channels. So that seemed like a natural organic fit. But we have a good question here about, I'm just going to start going down the line regarding some features. Yeah. So can we say OmniKick has a CRM tool or not? And I guess that makes sense why they would ask that, because you can manage or have subscribers that you're importing in as well.
Yeah. So it would be the, typically you could say it's a CRM for the subscribers that you have on board. So yeah, you see your subscribers details. You can reach your subscribers based on their category, based on their device, based on their location, based on like you can actually geo-target or geolocate your subscribers list, and you can segment them. So you can customize your subscribe list. For example, let's say you have 100 subscribers and you want to customize them to which of those are active on emails, which of those are active on push. You send them email or you send them push. Then you can target based on where they're based. Let's say which time zone they're in. Are they using Macs or are they using Windows, right? or are they using Chrome, or are they using Mozilla Firefox? So this is the segmentations that you can do. Are they on a mobile device, or are they on a desktop device? So these are kind of the segmentations that you can do to actually segment your customers, and then you can go ahead and send them your emails or your updates and reach to them based on the specific needs.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Good question that's coming up about pop-ups. They didn't see the pop-up section in version 2. I'm assuming it's not built out yet.
No, the pop-ups, like in version 1, what we had is a drip opt-in form. So we had opt-in forms, right? In version 2, it is actually simplified with the automation section. So once we go, like, I cannot actually go ahead and go through automations today, but what I can give you an overview is that automations, what we would do over there is that when a customer gets into a store, right, you would actually have a place where they would actually go ahead and subscribe. So starting from, what does an opt-in form do? An opt-in form does is like, you take an email address, you take a number, and they just say, all right, thank you, we will send you an email. Done, right? So that's the whole thing about an opt-in form. Over here, the version 2, it gives you the entire automation cycle. So what happens is that you come in, so they subscribe to a newsletter, they subscribe to a list, right? And then going back to the example that I gave last week, so the person comes in and then he subscribes, or just subscribes for a newsletter, he becomes a subscriber of yours, so we can go ahead and apply a tag as a new subscriber. Then the person goes in, browse into your stores, buys something, he creates a checkout, right? So you update, and then you can go ahead and go down your automation and add it as a action or decision, or you can add it as like what you want to do with it, right? So then they comes in and then go for they want to buy a product, so they create the Shopify, or they update the cart, but they haven't bought it yet. Then you can go ahead and add another section. So if they haven't bought it within 3 hours, what you would do? You would send them an email, or you would send them, or you would put them in another automation where they can be able to interact with them. So let's say within 3 hours they have not bought it, right? So what do? We send them an email, we send them a push letting them, so your cart is already ready. So we're just waiting for you to finish processing your purchase and enjoy your product. So then if the person gets into it, buys the product, he exits the automation because your sale is done. If the person doesn't see it, so we wait for, so it's up to you how many times you want to wait, whether you want to wait for an hour, a day, or 2 days, it's up to you. Depending on your subscribers, you would actually be the most qualified person to judge it, like what your subscribers are based on. So you wait for 3 days, and then you send them an email saying, so we actually still have the cart ready for you. You can just go ahead, click this link, and complete your purchase before you lose out on this deal. And you can give them a discount code, and they would be more interested. All right, okay, yeah, so I do remember now. Yeah, I wanted to buy that. Let me go ahead and buy it now. So this is how we would actually have the, we do not have the specific pop-ups, but what we have is that we have the entire automation cycle in process. So it will not just be a form just to collect your email address and name. It will be the entire system where you would collect the person's information, and you would help them through the process till you make them a paid customer, and so on and so on.
But technically, couldn't the first step be some sort of like pop-up modal that comes up to bring him some sort of automation process?
Yes, the first one would be that they would actually go in and apply, as I said, if they put in as a newsletter, they want to get a newsletter, they subscribe to an email, that's when we apply a tag that's the new subscriber. After that, they go into the automation cycle.
So
Perfect.
this like this automation thing, do you automatically capture all the Shopify events, like user added a product in the cart, or user
Yes, so we
interacted with
have,
the product?
yes, we have the tags and the triggers over there. So it's up to you how you want to insert the user into your automation. So the tags for the Shopify is, some of the tags for Shopify is user created order, order canceled, order refunded, a created card, a card canceled, and so on and so on. So every single, basically every single tags or triggers needed for a Shopify customer or an e-commerce business to actually get the user, the tags and the triggers are there in the system. They just have to select which one they want to put in, and they can just click on the ad. Like, let me just show you just briefly.
Sure.
Are we live?
Yep, we'll bring it up.
So there is
Alright.
one interesting question, Bruce. I think so. What he's showing is going to answer maybe answer for that question, which is:
Okay.
are you saying it can identify abandoned cart from basic e-commerce? The feature is
Yes,
only built from
it
Plus.
can. It can. We actually have the we actually have the automations built in. So as you can see, Shopify cart abandonment. You see this over here?
Yeah.
So this would be rules that we already built into the system. So you would get these automations already built in. So Shopify bounce back, Shopify win back, Shopify cart abandonment, and then you have another one which is Shopify discount welcome. So what happens? Let me go ahead and show you the cart abandonment one. This is the most smallest one. So let me show it and show you this. So this is what happens. So a checkout created by a Shopify, right? So they created by updated by a Shopify. So whether they create one or update one, then you wait 3 hours. Then order has placed at least once in the last 7 days. You go ahead and it goes to yes and it exists. They have not placed the order in the last 7 days, then no. Then it goes to send the Shopify cart abandonment sequence, which would be an email that go ahead and send to them saying, as I mentioned, that your Shopify cart is waiting for you, and you can go back and complete your purchase. And if they go ahead and complete the purchase, then it goes down to exit. You can go ahead and add as much as you want. Over here, if you create, those are the 4 built-in automations that we have, so that people are ready to use the most common drafts that they need for automation. But obviously, people can go ahead and create their own. And over here, so this is a defined trigger thing. So you go ahead and create your triggers. You select Shopify, checkout created, just an example, right? And you can add. So you can add an action, you can add a decision, a fork, a goal, a delay, or you can directly exit. And once you click on add, you'd get, over here is the action. So you have many triggers over here. So this would actually take a lot of time, guys, to show you all of the triggers and the actions. But yes, so automations, basically, just to give you a brief, you'd be able to segment your customers, or you'd be able to create how you want to interact with your customers. And we have some built-in. It's basically all of this. The definitions are written. As you can see, the definitions are written on one of them. So when I click on action, you would see what does an action mean. When you click on fork, what does it mean? A decision, what does it mean? So every single feature with descriptions are given below. It's very simple. You just read on and go on and add it. But obviously, if you need help, we are here 24/7, and we would set it up for you, no issues.
Cool. So we have a lot of questions that are coming up, and we're starting to get a big list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them off, and I just want you guys to just shotgun the answers as
Right.
fast as possible. Okay. Can I integrate OmniKick with Stripe so that way when someone buys a product, it starts a workflow?
Yes.
Perfect. Love that. Can we get details on the full $99 plan? Like, in other words, what tier are they going to be assigned to? What plan are they assigned to for OmniKick? And what will the price be
so
after their limit?
okay, so basically it's $97, guys. So another discount of $2 for you. So so what you would be getting actually is you would get all of the features that I showed you right now. You have access to all of it. So you would have access to the broadcast, the sequence, the automations. You would have access to sending unlimited emails. So let's say you have the limit of 25,000 subscribers, but you can go ahead and send them campaigns. So you're sending one campaign, you send out emails, 25,000. You go ahead and create another campaign, you send out another 25,000 email. So you have unlimited emails that you can send monthly basis. You have unlimited push notifications that you can go ahead and send. There is no limit at this point except for the 25,000 limit, and that limit is also very much multiplied if we go ahead and buy more lifetime accounts. So each lifetime account is 25,000, but if you add and get more lifetime accounts, you get 25,000 multiplied by 2, 3, 4, and so on and so on. So that is the only limit, guys. Until except for that, every single feature that is in the system, you have access to it, and also you will be able to access the upcoming features, which we are really excited. And the most exclusive feature that we're going to have is the messenger marketing. That will actually, that will beat our competition. That will actually narrow down our market to 1 or 2%, because one software having email and push notification, that narrows down our market to 10%. We bring in messenger marketing, guys. No one would be able to come in with those three in one platform, and based on the rates that we're giving. So we will give you, even if it's a monthly or a yearly subscription, you would get it for $100 or hundreds or $200. But whenever you get or add this kind of features all together, it's above 1,000 for any software that you have on the market.
So would you say that this is equivalent to the Pro Plus plan?
Yes.
In terms of feature sets?
This is
okay. Real quick, I'm going to show that to the community. They can see here that the Pro Plus plan, like slider block, abandoned intent, referral, device detection, geolocation, cookie retargeting, campaign scheduling. Do they get the sub accounts also?
The version 1 is just deals with drip opt-ins and opt-in forms and push notifications. So the version 2 that we have, it has added email marketing. So these things will actually change a lot. But the Pro Plus, you can say, yeah, it's a Pro Plus feature. Based on that, they will get everything that the software has to offer.
Got it. So will that include like client management for sub accounts as well?
Yes. What do you like? If you would elaborate, like client management.
The Pro Plus plan came with 2 sub accounts, so you can manage 2 customers. I'm assuming that's going to be included.
All right. Yes. So yeah, what we are actually planning to do is that once we go ahead and finish the manual code to put in the other platforms, so we would actually go ahead and add features where they can go ahead and add users as well. So one customer can go ahead and add their team members into the system. So they can add users, they can add new sites. So if they have multiple sites, they would have multiple team members as well under one account.
Got it. Perfect. I'm going to move right on down. Nick, you got a question about ZapSeller. Is this available for Spanish?
So the ZapSeller system itself allows you to create your own language files. Let me get back to you regarding like how those can be modified. We don't have all the help documentation ready, but to answer whether it is available in Spanish or not, the short answer is yes, it is available, but there is a small steps that needs to be done by you so that whether you are using Spanish, French, or some other language, you can use it.
Perfect. So this is for OmniKick. Can you accelerate the integration with ZapSeller? I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Both products are being talked about at the same time.
We are actually working, as I mentioned to you, once we go ahead and finish the visual email builder for you guys, we would go ahead and just, the next thing is that we are working on the code to integrate with ZapSeller.
Awesome. Can we connect email responders like MailChimp to OmniKick?
Do we have to connect to email autoresponders like mail? No, you do not have to collect. You can just go ahead and bring in your subscriber list, and you can use our email servers to go ahead and do your email marketing. You don't need any other support.
Now, let's say they prefer to use their MailChimp or their Moosehead. Can they continue to use theirs and say have the subscribers? Let's say we collect the subscribers to OmniKick, but we want to send them to MailChimp. Is that a possible workflow?
Okay. Well, they cannot use the thing that we are actually doing is that they can, once they go ahead and import the version 1, what happened is that the people would need to integrate with MailChimp or Aweber or other so that they can access their list, and so that they can go ahead and interact with their list. But over here, we are giving the users the option to actually bring their list in. So once they bring their list in, they actually do not have any relevance to do with the other software. They can just use OmniKick to do all their marketing.
Got it. So just for clarity, guys, what that means is it's an inbound subscriber sync. So it's going to come from your third parties, or you do a manual import. into OmniKick. That's how it works.
Yeah.
The workflow does not work. Collect the subscribers and then send it to your MailChimp list. That's not the type of workflow how it's set up.
Right.
Okay. Nick, this is for you. As a reseller or an affiliate, do you recommend starting with ZapERP or ZapSeller?
Okay, so as a reseller, I would say ZapSeller would be a good start, considering that it is going to help to convert offline store to online, and especially in this situation where a lot of offline store wants to sell, but they can't because of the lockdowns and suspension. An app like ZapSeller can help. So as a reseller, I would recommend you to start with ZapSeller and ZapERP, but it all depends upon the clients you have. So I don't want to be sort of in a position where I tell you exactly what to start, but it all depends upon client. But if you want to take a suggestion, I would say start with ZapSeller.
I think that makes sense. It's a little more customer friendly in terms of the approach because of the aesthetics of a storefront, a public storefront. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, moving on down. This is for OmniKick. I think they're referring to the visual builder. I have Drip. This app is like Drip. Awesome. I love it. I think that's referring to like the triggers that you could create on the builder. I'm assuming Drip was one of your inspirations.
Yes, as I mentioned, Drip is the drip.com is the software that actually came long before we came into the market. And so they actually have the email visual builders and everything related to emails and opt-in forms and so on. The thing that we put them a bit behind and we went ahead was with the push notifications. We have that in the software. Yes, I do understand. Like he has Drip and the app is like Drip and awesome. He loves it. So the great thing about it is that this is much more simplified than Drip and with more features. So you would love it more once you start using it.
And people notice that they're starting to see the appeal that you're providing the email autoresponder service for the e-commerce industry. I mean, that's another major value proposition that's offered. People are starting to notice that. All right, moving on down, and this is going to be the last one that we have here. How long has this company been around? I'm assuming they're referring to OmniKick.
Right. So the mother company OmniKick has been around since 2016. That's where we have been going on with OmniKick. Yeah, 4 years, 5 years counting, you could say. So we started off with OmniKick. We have hundreds of users on OmniKick, so we have been using that. Then so we wanted to come into the big market, because OmniKick gives you the drip form. So those were good for bloggers, for one-person businesses, and so that's why we came in with OmniKick version 2, and it also will help the e-commerce industry. So our goal is to change the e-commerce industry in a big way, also cutting down the costs of marketing for every single user, benefiting them to get in more profits, and so that we can create a community where the other softwares in the market would rethink and they would actually cut down their prices as well. So we want to create that change in the e-commerce industry.
Love it. Love it. Okay, guys, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for everyone for sticking with us. Nick and Aruko, thank you very much for hanging out with us. We're going on an hour plus. To all 15 of you that stuck with us, thank you very much. Appreciate it. On that note, let's go ahead and sign off, and then we'll continue next week. Same time, we're looking at Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. All right, guys, on that note, everyone stay safe. Keep in mind social distancing, and we'll see everyone next week.
All right, guys. Peace.
Perfect.
Take care. Bye.
Take care, guys.